Good morning, my beautiful Barca babies. It is Friday. It is time for the weekend. We'll be taking a look at Barcelona's last match of the season, putting a bow on things, the La Liga champions. Hopefully going out on a high note. We'll talk about the squad, the lineups, match predictions, and more. Lots of summer transfer rumors to touch on. What's the latest with Lionel Messi? What's going on with the comings and the goings? Who's staying? Who's in? Who's out? We're going to be talking about all that and more on today's episode of Wake Up and Barca. If you want to be part of the conversation, give me your thoughts, share your questions, share your ideas, subscribe to the channel, participate in the chat, connect with your fellow culés from around the world. Don't just sit there and watch, participate, my friends. That's what this channel is all about, getting that conversation going amongst the culés from around the world. We support the badge, we support each other. If that sounds good to you, like I said, make sure you subscribe, drop a like as we get things going. And with that out of the way, let's kick things off the right way, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in to the undefeated Mustache John.
All right. Good morning to you all. Like I said, Barcelona with their last match of the season, taking on Celta Vigo. That's going to be happening this Sunday. Whoop, get back here. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Get my buttons right. There we go. It's going to be happening this Sunday. Barcelona are going to be away for this one, traveling to Celta Vigo. Nothing on the line, really, except Ter Stegen's legacy. No big deal. Ter Stegen wants to play and will play against Celta Vigo. He's going to take a risk on the last day for two reasons. The records. Number one, keeping a clean sheet in 27 games, more than anyone in history in terms of the top 5 leagues in Europe, right? There might be some weird little league somewhere in Asia or the Middle East, or maybe here in America, who knows, where somebody has more clean sheets, but it's irrelevant, okay? Top leagues in Europe, 27 games will be the record for Ter Stegen. And if he does get that clean sheet, then the goal conceded average, where he's sitting right now at 0.472, will go down, and he will officially have the record over Oblak, who was at 0.473 goals allowed per match. So Ter Stegen with something to play for here, even though Barcelona don't have a lot on the line. Like I said, Ter Stegen is going to want that win, going to want that clean sheet. So we're going to go over lineups, we're going to go over predictions. We'll go over the summer transfer rumors, all the latest around the ins and the outs. Go over all that and more while we have a little bit of coffee. Start our day in a positive way, talking about Barcelona content. All right. So I'm going to turn to the chat. I'm going to see who's hanging out with us. Say hello to the Stash Squad, and we'll get things going here. And again, if you're watching over on TikTok, if you want the full experience, the screen sharing, the glitz and the glamour, as they say, as I get my hair in order, swipe over, click the link in the bio. That'll get you over to the Undefeated Mustache John YouTube channel. That's where you want to be, hanging out with all these fine folks. One more reminder, go ahead and drop a like. Let's see who's hanging out with us. My nephew, Christian, hello, sir. I will be seeing you tomorrow. Let's go. Little family time. Very excited for that. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your day, young man. We got Harry in the house, of course. Kyle Cash in the house. Might be seeing Kyle Cash tomorrow as well. Making a little trip back to West Virginia for the weekend, so we'll see. Harry's saying, Harry's talking to Kyle there. Got a good conversation going. Who else we got in the house? Samuel Donna. Welcome back, sir. Good to see you. Again, everyone who's out there watching, I encourage you all, participate in the chat. Give me your thoughts. Give me your opinions. Ask questions. Get to know each other, right? This is an opportunity to connect with your fellow culés, to make some friends here on the channel. We got folks watching from all over the world, all right? Folks that you would never have the opportunity to meet right here on this channel. So do subscribe, do participate in the conversation. And before we get into Barcelona-related content, I do actually want to extend a congratulations to Sevilla, winners of the Europa League trophy. It brings up a very interesting stat, actually. Spanish clubs moving differently in finals, according to ESPN. Spanish clubs have now faced non-Spanish clubs 18 times in European finals. That's Europa League and Champions League since 2001. And the La Liga teams have won 18 out of 18. What? But I thought the English Premier League was the best league in the world. I thought La Liga was nothing but a bunch of fancy dribbling, just fluff and flair and nonsense. What's going on in these finals then? How could it be that La Liga is 18 for 18 since 2001 in these finals? That is wild, my friends. Let me just say that again. 18 of 18 in European finals since 2001. That's absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions on what is currently the best league in the world? Do we have opinions about this? Does it matter? Do we care? Let me know your thoughts. We're going to start there. Again, Sevilla getting the big win over Roma. Lots of controversy in this one. I know we are not paying much attention, but a lot of controversy. All right, so you can go back and look. You can see some of the reaction from the Roma fans towards the referee in the airport. We're going to be talking about that on Monday's episode of the Engine Room podcast. Again, that's me, Pablo Wolves Blanco, Buga Luis, chatting all things football. We'll be talking about that Europa League final and the aftermath with the referee. That will definitely be happening. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, on Spotify. It's the Engine Room podcast every Monday. And for the summer, we're going to be doing like every other Monday. But check us out. Check us out. We'll be talking about the wide world of football on that podcast. Whew. Turning back to the chat here. I see Ghost is with us. Prashant, how we doing, sir? Always good to have you in the chat. Harry says, I saw a Roma fan call La Liga a farmers league, which is the most hilarious and ironic thing ever. Amen to that. Ghost says, update on the listening to the Engine Room at the office. Fought with my supervisor and got a headset installed back. Amen. Way to go, Ghost. You got to fight for your right to listen to the podcast. You know what I mean? So good for you for fighting through that. All right, before we get to lineups and predictions, let's do a little summer transfer rumor roundup. Okay, starting with, of course, the most important, Lionel Messi. In a recent interview, Xavi shared Lionel Messi will decide his future next week. He is 100% okay to join us. He knows we're ready to welcome him. Nothing has changed. We have chances. We want Leo here. Let him decide. I'm ready to include him in our system. This is what he told Mundo Deportivo. Here's the thing, folks. Here's the thing. Barcelona haven't actually offered Lionel Messi a contract yet. There's been talks. There's been discussions. There's been negotiations. But nothing put on paper yet. Nothing offered to Lionel Messi. So for Xavi to come out and say, we're waiting on Leo. Let Lionel Messi decide. It's up to him. A little bit misleading. A little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Is this a PR move by Xavi in Barcelona early on, trying to avoid the finger pointing if Lionel Messi doesn't come back? He can go back to these interviews and say, oh, well, no, see, we said it was up to Leo, and we did everything that we could, and the door was open, but Lionel Messi just decided he didn't want to play here anymore. I don't know. Listen, in Xavi we trust, but this is a little bit misleading. What are your thoughts on Xavi's quote here, saying that it's up to Leo? Is it up to Leo, or are we maybe being a little bit misleading? Let's see. Matinho's in the house. How we doing? Says Messi, Inigo, Gundogan, Zubamendi, and Cancelo on loan would be a 10 out of 10 transfer window. We'll be touching on most of those here in the next couple of minutes. We're gonna talk about those one by one. Christian says Messi back to FCB with the thumbs up. Excited for it, I'm sure. Matinho, relax, buddy. Harry saying that transfer list is going to be a little bit too expensive. I agree. We probably won't be able to bring in all of those players. I'd have to agree with that. Kyle says, obviously it's Messi. He's a starter, but how does this work? We'll be talking about how Barcelona could line up once the season ends. When the season ends, after this last match, we're going to do a season recap where we go back and look at the 8 predictions I made. We'll see how well I did. Spoiler alert, I don't think I did so well. But we're going to go back on the 8 predictions. We're going to talk about a preferred roster for next season in terms of who I would let go and who I would bring in. And then that will trigger us talking about a potential starting 11 and what rotation players we'll have for Barcelona next season. So we'll get there, folks. We got We got a few months up ahead of us of no football, just transfer rumors. So we'll get to all that. That'll happen. All right. Let's keep things going in terms of transfer rumors, ins and outs. According to Rashad Rahman, Pablo Torre is going to be set to leave on loan here. The club doesn't include a option to buy. Villarreal are favorites to get him. I like this, folks. I like this move. Pablo Torre loaned out to a La Liga side of Villarreal. I'm okay with this. He's going to get playing time. He's going to be challenged. He might, where did Villarreal, look at that, Villarreal, going to end up in 5th. So they'll be getting European football. Hey now. All of a sudden, this makes sense, okay? Granted, we got to bring in a couple of midfielders. Bussi's leaving. Nico's coming back. Hessier might be out, but either a Gundogan, a Zubamendi, an Amrabat. I don't think it's going to be Kimmich, but somebody else will be coming in. I don't know if there'll be a lot of playing time for Pablo Torre. I just don't, particularly if we do get a proper left wing and we go away from the 4 midfield and we go back to a 3 midfield. Frankie, Pedri, Gavi, those are the starting 3 if we get a proper left wing. Just saying. So, I'm cool with this. I'm quite cool with this, actually. I love the idea of Pablo Torre out on loan. I think he has a lot to offer. He's got a lot of potential, but he's not quite there yet, my friends. I think Pablo Torre out on loan makes sense. Turn to the chat, see what y'all think about that one. Kyle Cash giving the reminder to drop a like. Do appreciate that. If you are enjoying this content, make sure you show some love and support for the channel. Drop a like. Easiest way to show that support. Keep things going. Harry says, I'd love to do who I'd let go and keep. Absolutely, we'll do that. I think what we'll do is we'll do some sort of ranking system where we can vote, so I can get your opinions as well. We'll do something with that. Cash says, I want to know right meow. You gotta wait, sir. Patience, calma. Harry says, please give Nico and Abde a chance. We'll be discussing that, of course. Go says, what do you think about the rumors on loaning out Ansu Fati? I say give him one more season. Reports are saying that Xavi has told Ansu Fati that he won't be guaranteed minutes next year. Now, the thing is, Xavi has also come out and said that I don't tell anybody that I guarantee minutes. Nobody has guaranteed minutes. I tell you, here's the players you're going to be competing with for those minutes. So, if we bring back Abde and or sign Carrasco, and we still have Dembele and Rafinha, and we bring in Lionel Messi, I don't know where Ansu Fati fits. Is he our second number 9 if we don't sign a Vitor Roque? You know what I mean? I'm not ready to sell Ansu, okay? Now that we're at the end of the season, and we've looked back, this has certainly been a bust for him, okay? But we've seen some signs. We've seen some hope, some silver lining. Ansu Fati, for me, is worth the gamble of one more year. His value isn't going to drop much more than where it is right now if we keep him for one more year. In my mind, it's worth the risk. We play him. We give him the opportunity to be the Ansu that we've come to know and love, and we see what happens. I think it's too soon to cut ties with Ansu. I could go for a loan, but even that, I'm a little bit hesitant. I'd rather him just stick it out at Barca, see if he can regain that mentality, his mental sharpness, his confidence over the summer, and then we go from there. We'll see what happens. Cash says, will his value drop if he gets hurt, though? Potentially. You always run that risk, but I don't think it's going to go much further down than what it is right now. I think he's like under 20 mil. 2 years ago, people were knocking at the door for 100 million, and now he's under 20. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, more rumors. Someone who I think is going to be staying. Okay, there's a couple variables, of course, but Xavi has come out and said, for me, Rafinha stays. He isn't on the market. I think this is the right move. I think he had really a tremendous season for what he was up against, having to be the lone provider out on the wing at times, with Dembele injured, with no proper left wing. Rafinha was our guy, setting up Lewandowski, creating goals of his own, making those clever inverted runs, getting goals with the left, the right, headed goals. I appreciate Rafinha, and I'm glad to see that he is staying. Again, the variables. Will Dembele sign a contract extension? We're not going to enter into next season with 1 year left on his contract. It just won't happen. Or will he be sold for a 50 million euro buyout? Will MESSI come in? Will ALBA stay or go? Will Ansu Fati stay or go? Those are all variables, folks. But for me, I think the priorities are Rafinha, MESSI, Dembele, then I would say Ansu, then ALBA. Those, I think, are my preferred 5 wingers. You throw in Lewandowski, you throw in, I don't know, somebody else as a 7th attacker, and that's all you need. That's what we got. Okay? We are good to go. We are good to go. So Rafinha stays, in my opinion. Someone who's not staying, Jordi Alba. This is sad. This one makes me sad. All right? I snuck up on me. I was not ready for Jordi Alba to leave. I thought we were going to have 1 more year. But reports are saying he's got some new clubs interested. He, of course, has announced he will not be coming back to fulfill his contract with Barcelona. We're going to have to pay him something like 38 million next year, something like that. So reports are saying Atleti, Inter, or Benfica. Now I got feelings about this. For me, Atleti is a hard no. It's a hard no. I don't want a Luis Suarez situation on our hands. Okay, so for me, Atleti is a hard no. Benfica is also a hard no because I don't want to see Jordi take that step down just yet. I don't want to see him go to a lesser league where nothing is really going to matter except for maybe a Champions League run where they ultimately get knocked out somewhere early in the knockout stages. Okay, I think Inter Milan makes sense. I think the style of play that Inter Milan bring to the pitch, I think the fact that they play with wingbacks on the attack makes sense, and they're contenders. All right, I know they're about to play in a final. I don't know how much I would rely on them getting back into it next season, but they got a puncher's chance. So for Jordi Alba, it takes him out of Spain, puts him at one of the top European clubs where he can still compete. That makes the most sense to me, I think. Unless I'm missing something. Jordi to Inter, does that make sense to you? I would definitely go that over Atleti, over Benfica. So of those 3, what do you think? Where should Jordi go? Or is there maybe an option that hasn't been discussed where Jordi should land? What do we think, folks? Harry says Jordi can go to Benfica or Inter, but not Atleti. I'm with you for sure. Cash says, yeah, didn't see this coming. Yeah, same. I knew that, like I said, I knew we were going to have to pay him a bunch of cash coming into next season, but I thought maybe he'd delay it. Maybe, I don't know, do something. But I did not expect him to not be here next season. Didn't expect it whatsoever. Anyway, folks. A couple more pieces of news, and then we'll go over lineups. What about this one? Speaking of left backs, right, we got Balde, we got Marcos Alonso, who I know a lot of you are not fans of. So should we be looking to sign Rafael Guerrero this summer? The free agent, been playing at Dortmund, Portuguese left back, left wing back, left wing at times. Very much I know this is insulting, but take it for what it is. A poor man's Jordi Alba. If we can find a way to bring in Guerrero, it'll be on the free. If we can get a reasonable salary, do we like this? Do we want to bring him in over a Marcos Alonso? What do we think? Is this the perfect replacement? Someone who's not going to steal time from Balde, but can certainly step up when needed? Because I'm telling you, it's either going to be we bring somebody else in or it's Marcos Alonso filling in for Balde when he's unavailable. What do we think, folks? Is Guerrero that choice? Ayush is in the house. How we doing, sir? What do we think? What do we think about the option for Guerrero on the free? Harry says Guerrero would be a great addition. He'd be great alongside Balde. I think I think he and Grimaldo could be two who I definitely look at. I think Grimaldo just signed with somebody. If I'm not wrong. I could be wrong. I think Grimaldo just signed with somebody. Let me see here. I'm scrolling. Maybe not. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. I know he was at Benfica. I could have sworn he just signed for somebody. But maybe I'm wrong. Perhaps I'm wrong. It has happened before, folks. That has happened. Kyle Cash says, sign everyone on the market, sort it out later. Could get expensive, but I appreciate your strategy there. Grimash, how we doing, sir? You are a little bit late, but you are in time for our match preview. We'll be talking about lineups and predictions here in just a moment. Hair's wild today. Ismat, hello and welcome. Says, I feel like we are being lied to when it comes to the improved club's finances. Xavi himself stating that we might be in a worse situation than last summer. Not expecting much this summer, to be honest. Ooh, fair point. There is definitely a layer of marketing and branding with what we hear coming out of the Barcelona camp. You got to keep that in mind. Maybe we don't make any signings in terms of bringing people in from the transfer market. Maybe it is only free players again, a la Messi, a la Guerrero, a la Gundogan. That could happen. We might not be paying for a Vitor Roque. We might not be paying for a Zubamendi, a Kimmich, a Amrabat. That could be the case, folks. So be ready for that. Fabia, hello. Welcome to you, my friend. Saint, good to see you. Says, do you think it's worth sacrificing 3 players who have potential to bloom for 1 year of Messi plus an extra year option? Which 3 players are you talking about? Let me know which 3 you're talking about, because I would sacrifice Ferran Torres. I would sacrifice Abde. And I would sacrifice an Ansu on loan, if that's the 3 you're talking about. But which 3 are you thinking are going to be missing out if Leo comes in? And I think ultimately I am with Kyle on this one. We owe it to Lionel Messi. Okay, as long as we're not giving up Pedri, Gavi, Araujo, Balde, Christensen, Koundé, Rafinha, Lewandowski even, Frankie de Jong. As long as we're not giving up any of those players, and it's not likely at all that we are, whatever happens in the next year or 2 with Lionel Messi, we just pick back up where we left off. All right? I think these players are a little bit different than the 2018, 2019 Barcelona roster that just, when they got the ball, they're like, where's Leo? Give it to Leo. I think we got a different club. All right? I think we'll get something closer to an Argentina that, yes, relies on Lionel Messi, but supports in a more balanced way, I guess. Grimash saying Saudi Arabia doubled the cash for Messi, around $1 billion. He's still saying no, though. He's saying it's not about the money. Still looking at Barcelona, so we'll see. We'll see, folks. Saint says Rafinha, Ansu, Koundé, perhaps because he's unhappy with his position at right back instead of center back. Xavi has cooled those rumors. He's come out and said, no, there's no problem with Koundé. Calma on the Koundé rumors. We'll see. All right, folks. It is time. Let's jump over. Let's talk about a starting 11 for Xavi's Barcelona taking on Celta Vigo as we get to the right screen there. There we go. No Jordi Alba. No Boosie. We have seen them play their last match for Barcelona. It's a beautiful performance at the Camp Nou. A great send-off. So no Boosie, no Jordi Alba. Pedri is injured. Who else is out? We've got a couple other folks that are missing as well. Forgetting who. So we're going to see some rotations. We're going to potentially see a light squad. We're going to potentially see some Barca athletic players. One player that you know you can rely on, that you can count on, the trusty Ter Stegen. Been saying it all year long. This is his year. And in this final match, he gets to cement it. Put a cherry on top of a great season. Going for his 27th clean sheet. Going for the average goals allowed per match record. Big boy doing big things. I think it's going to happen. Playing in front of him. No Araujo, like I said. No Balde. That's the one that I was missing. Balde is also injured thanks to the tackle that he received in last weekend's match. So, mixing things up. Going Marcos Alonso. No Balde. No Jordi Alba. Who else are we going to go with? It's Marcos Alonso. On the right side, I believe it will be Sergio Roberto playing in the final season of the match because Jules Koundé is kind of tired of playing right back. So I think we'll see Christensen and Koundé as the center back pairings. With no Busi. It's going to be Frankie de Jong playing that pivot. Alongside him, I believe we will see Gavi and Kessié. This might be Franck Kessié's final match for Barcelona. Reports are saying he could be sold off to make room, to get some finances for other players. I think Xavi maybe sends him off in style. Gives him the start against Celta Vigo here. For the front three, going Lewandowski, the soon-to-be official Pichichi Award winner. Hopefully closes things out the right way. Alongside him, I think we're going to see Dembele and Rafinha. Arguments for Ansu Fati, arguments for Ferran Torres, who, again, both could be playing in their final match for Barcelona. Ferran Torres, the more likely of the two to go. So I could see Rafinha starting on the bench and Ansu Fati coming in, move him to the left, Dembele to the right, of course. But I feel pretty confident about this lineup. Rotations, injuries, last match of the season. I feel good about it. Sitting on the bench, we'll have some Barça athletic players. We'll have Ansu and Ferran, like I said, but a light squad with injuries, suspensions, some players just not making the trip, a la Busi and Jordi Alba. But I think this squad is good enough to send us off the right way. Put a nice little cap on the season as champions. In terms of predictions. Predictions. Where's Celta Vigo in the table, actually? Let me look here. Celta Vigo is down in 17th. Oh, no, they're in a relegation battle still. Ay. Folks, look at this. Valladolid trying their best to catch Celta Vigo, Almeria, Valencia, Getafe, or Cadiz. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that are trying to stay up and avoid that final relegation spot. Elche is gone. Espanyol is gone. Valladolid, Celta Vigo, Almeria, Valencia, Getafe, Cadiz. Whew. So Celta Vigo was something to fight for here. It's tempting. It's tempting to give them a result, but I don't think they get it. I think we finish strong here. I'm going to go, because of Ter Stegen's ambitions for a clean sheet, I'm going 2-0 Barcelona. I was about to say 1-0, but I think it's going to be 1-0 early. Then Barcelona play a little bit conservative, make sure we keep the clean sheet. As Celta Vigo open up, we get a second goal. I'm going to say the first from Lewandowski and the second from Rafinha. Okay, so 2-0 win for Barcelona in the final match of the season. Lewandowski gets the first. Rafinha gets the second. Ter Stegen gets his clean sheet. Put the crown on that man's head and call it a day. How about that, folks? How about that? I'll turn to the chat. We got a few minutes left here to get your predictions in. What do you think about the starting 11? What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Let me pull that back up. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? What would you change? And then predictions-wise, let me know what you're thinking, folks, for this match against Celta Vigo to wrap us up for the year. Matinho says both Ferran and Ansu should start. It's a possibility. I could see Xavi going with Ferran on the right, Ansu on the left. He could definitely go for that. That is a possibility, I would say. I just think he'll want to start strong, get a lead, and then maybe make those substitutions. But could be wrong. Could be wrong about that one. Saint says 2-0 Dembele and Lewandowski getting the goals. Matinho doesn't want Almeria getting relegated. Why is that? Are we an Almeria fan? Harry says going 3-0 to Barcelona. Rafinha, Frankie, Lewandowski getting the goals. Matinho says it's going to be 2-0. Grimmer says Lewandowski missing a hat trick. So that's your bet. I would love to see that happen. Ismat says, I don't know if you're aware of this, but this weekend there is a Barcelona Spanish Grand Prix with the main race being on Sunday. I think our main players will want to attend that event. It's big. I'm pretty sure they'll be at the match. I think they'll be at the match. Despite potential entertainment for that race, I think they'll be there. Cash says, Almeria was the first team I was loaned to in FIFA when I started my player with Barca. Okay, hey, when you got ties, you got ties. You know what I mean? Anyway, folks, again, one more time, if you're watching on TikTok and you're enjoying the content, make sure you swipe over, click the link in the bio. That'll get you over to the YouTube channel where all the main content is. That's where you want to be to connect with the Stash Squad right here on YouTube. One more reminder, drop a like if you're enjoying the content. If you're watching on replay, make sure you let me know your comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions, ask your questions. If you're watching this live, again, one more time, drop a like if you're enjoying the content. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. We're going to wrap up on that. I'll see you Sunday for the live watch-along. Celta Vigo. Barcelona look to wrap up the season on a high note. We'll see if Ter Stegen can get his clean sheet record. And then we'll go from there. All right, so I hope you enjoy your weekend. I hope you have a wonderful day. People getting in some final predictions here. Christian coming in with the 1-0 prediction. I love it. Simon, good to see ya. Says, John, all great show this year, but I think Real are looking bad for next year unless they come up with some big money. We'll talk about Real coming up next week on those episodes. I know there's lots of Benzema news going around, Jude Bellingham reports going around. All right, so we'll talk a little bit about Real Madrid on upcoming episodes. All right. Hollow the Reaper jumping in just in time to say hello. Good to see you. It's great to see a lot of the regulars here. Yeah, that's going to wrap it up, folks. I was about to go on a tangent of what's coming up this season, but I'm not going to make promises like I did last year. Last year, I was like, we're going to do this or we're going to do that. And then I had kind of an off year. All right. So I'm going to under promise, over deliver will be the theme for this upcoming year. All right. I digress. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to start my day. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Go out there and have lots of positive interactions, high fives, and hugs for whoever wants them. I love you all very much. Appreciate you all tuning in and taking a ride. I'll see y'all next time.